Day 7, Radville BMX, 30-day, 30-bike challenge. Today's lineup is the 1990 Mongoose Hooligan. This bike is an important part of BMX history, and some might say the end of the old school era leading into the mid school. Some might say the end of the 80s and the start of the 90s, and they'd absolutely be correct. 1990 sure was, but this is definitely still an old school classic, but it's really leading and blazing the path to the mid school, right? Let's talk about what makes that so. So first of all, DMC, Mr. Sir Dennis McCoy himself, designed this bike, rode this bike, represented this bike, and brought this bike to the fame that it has today. So in my opinion, this is the bike of the Mongoose line. Of course, there's many great bikes in the Mongoose line, but this one is just awesome freestyle riding machine, and just a great part of the BMX legacy here, right? So let's talk about this. What's right, what's wrong, what's awesome, what could be improved, and what's just simply here to be enjoyed today. So super excited to present this 1990 Mongoose Hooligan. So let's get into it. So frame and fork right off the bat definitely look original to me. So approximately 32-year-old, right? So decal, paint, everything looks correct. Chrome forks. Let's talk about the ground up. Here we have on this particular model and catalog correct, array of 48s. So you can see the hub's got 48 spokes on those, and Panaration tires on the ground. Now, correct Hooligan would actually have DMC tires. This one has Street Rider, more new repop Panaracers on it. Provides a comfortable ride, but not the DMC tires on here. Let's go to the midsection, right? And this is really what starts to separate this bike apart. So the bash guard, we'll talk about the crankset and pedals in a minute here, but let's talk about this bash guard. So first off, this is not the original bash guard. This would be the second generation. The first generation, my understanding, it would actually be metal. This one is actually plastic, made later to help those that may not have had or needed another bash guard, right? So just what it says, that is for bashing. Would protect your crank and your sprocket, drop-ins and doing grinds and so forth, and that's what the 90s was about, right? Leading into the grunge scene. So BMX was a part of that culture, leading the way, and this bike, in my opinion, just epitomizes that year and the era and what was about to happen in BMX, and we'll talk more about that later in the series, but today it's all about the 1990 Mongoose Hooligan. Pedals are correct. Those are the Mongoose pedals for this model. You can see the chain ring, also correct. Decaled Mongoose, also correct. Coming up top for the ride, we got the Mongoose seat post, clamp, and seat in the saddle. Seems to be correct. Definitely in pretty good shape, so I'm not sure the true vintage of that and the year, but does seem to be correct for the model. On the stopping power, we actually have the Pitbull brakes and set up correctly, and they definitely stop this powered up front with the Odyssey gyro and Odyssey brakes in the front. Moving up top, we got the Mongoose stem and the Mongoose bars. You can see there's a nice little ding in those bars because this bike definitely was made for bashing, and that's exactly what it did. Got AME grips and correct levers on there. Again, kind of notice how we're starting to get more towards the 90s, and those almost look like the modern mountain brake levers of today, right? So that technology was just starting to really take hold, and you're seeing it in this BMX, and nice big wide levers there for stopping power, front brake down through the POTS mod. So again, back to the overall condition of this bike. 1990 Mongoose Hooligan, absolute fun to ride, just takes you back. You want to just bounce and ride and grind off of everything. Super cool bike, super cool piece of history. Thank you, Mr. Dennis McCoy, for bringing this to light and this project for Mongoose. Just super awesome, and enjoy riding this, and great to have it here today in the Radville BMX 30-day, 30-bike challenge. This is the 7th day and the 7th bike in the lineup. Thanks for watching. Everybody take care. Later.